Hey, is it possible the coronavirus we're all dealing with is actually a biological weapon created in a laboratory? I'm going to get you the answer to that right now. Hey guys, Bill here. A lot of you guys are writing in and asking me about this weird story that's going around about the coronavirus. In a nutshell, this theory claims we are not dealing with a virus that came from an animal in the wild, but rather it's a weapon that came out of a biological lab in China. Wow, that's a wild claim. I think we're going to have to do some very serious and accurate research on this one. I did some digging around on the internet and found out the story most of you are sending me is posted on a website called the UFO Spotlight On. In the post by Robert Morningstar, the story goes like this. A high-ranking Chinese military officer informs us China, unhappy with the protests erupting in Hong Kong, decided to make a biological agent to unleash on the protesters. When they discovered the weapon was too strong, they decided to stop using it. But by that time, the Americans were onto it and they wanted it for themselves. The Americans set up a deal to buy the virus weapon, but before the exchange could happen, Chinese agents rushed to stop the deal. This resulted in a shootout and the accidental release of the bioweapon in Wuhan, China. Wow, that's a pretty incredible story, and I'm sure it'd make a great movie, but is it real or is it fake? The official answer is fake. Thanks to some excellent work by a number of fact-checking sites, including Snopes.com, we now know this story did not originate on UFO Spotlight On, but rather a website called r/NoSleep. r/NoSleep is actually a subsection of Reddit that is dedicated to scary, fictional stories. Most of the writings here are designed to be realistic, and the commentators are asked to respond to the stories as if they are real. Now, I know you horror fans like to pretend these stories are real because it makes a better and more immersive experience, but when it comes to the coronavirus, the problem is that this story can escape and they be spread around as real in a million different ways. Anything from YouTube videos to tweets to comments and even TV interviews.
The North Korean leader promised a Christmas present for America back in December. Could it be they got together with China and this is that present? I don't know.
In the meantime, the scientific community is still convinced the coronavirus came from an animal in the wild, not the lab. Guys, I think the important thing to remember here is this is not a man versus man issue. What we have here is man versus nature, okay? So when you hear people blaming other people for the coronavirus, just ignore all that. The thing you have to focus on is what you can do to make the situation better rather than worse. Hey, don't go away just yet. There are a whole lot more real or fakes you can look at. Just go ahead and click on one.